Hello everyone, Cordell here. Uh, I'm actually pretty excited about this video because it went a lot better than I expected it was going to researching it. Today, we are going to break down and try and figure out how much Bee and Puppycat makes on their various temp jobs. This is completely unscripted. I wrote this before I started doing the research. I don't expect to get an exact number, but I think we'll be able to get a good estimate. That is what I wrote before I actually started doing the research. And after doing the research, I think it just went a lot better than I expected. I also, back on script, I wrote this before I did the research, and it's a perfect prediction of what happened. Back on script. I also think that it's going to be a different amount based on if it's the YouTube series or the Netflix series. So let's start with the YouTube series. In the pilot, we see that Bee has no money for food after losing her job and spending some money to buy Puppycat some toys and some treats and also dumpster diving, but I don't think that really counts as for cost. They do their job, they get paid. You see the cash, they split it 50-50, but it's just a stack of bills, so we don't really get any real hint as to how much it is. In the first real episode of the YouTube series, after the pilot, we see that Bee buys $56 worth of stuff for a recipe, and Puppycat left his money at home. It's unclear just how much time has passed between the pilot and this first episode, so it's kind of unclear as to how much she may have spent between this time. And TempBot does say, I haven't seen you guys in a while, so it's possible that they haven't worked at all between the pilot and this first episode. But since, it's $56, Puppycat, they split it 50-50, so it's quite possible that Puppycat has another $56, making a total of $112. So, without any more evidence for time passage, that's all I can really say. The following episode, they do seem to buy some food, but we don't really get any price estimates as to how much they spend. And after doing their job, we don't get an actual estimate of how much they got paid. We see them get paid in a bunch of bills that rain down from, the little portal. And I paused and I counted it as 22 different bills. There's not enough detail on the bills to see how much they're worth. And assuming, they're $1 bills, it means they got paid $22. Assuming that's $5 bills, that means they got paid $110. That's suspiciously close to how much they got paid in the previous job that I mentioned on the first real episode. If it's $10 bills, it's $220. If it's $50 bills, I seem to have skipped $20 bills for some reason in my estimate. If it's $50 bills, for some reason I skipped $20 bills. If it's $50 bills, it's $1,100, and if it's $100 bills, it's $2,200. This doesn't really narrow it down a lot, as we don't see much of the bills. We don't get to see what denomination they are worth, and it realistically can be any combination of $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 bills. So that leaves quite a range, anywhere between $22 and $2,200. In the following episode, it's Bee's birthday, but she only spends coins, so there's no real hint, and we don't actually see how much she gets from her job. In the next episode, we do get to see Bee and Deckard pay rent, and according to Bee, it's the first time she's paid rent in forever.
This is great! I haven't paid rent on time in forever!
Meaning right away that she's getting paid a lot more than her previous earthly temp jobs. And Cardamon seems surprised that it's both in an envelope and it's not all coins.
An envelope and everything. And it's not in coins.
Really pointing out just how much more Bee is making from these temp jobs than she did before she met Puppycat. Bee does, however, say that her rent is cheap because she doesn't have a kitchen in her apartment.
I'd say let's make soup at my place, but I don't have a kitchen.
Yeah, how does that work?
That's why my rent's so cheap.
This is the last real mention of money in the YouTube series. The only confirmed number we have is $56, and that's Bee's half, and there's the possible implication that they receive $110 for another job. So at the end of the day, I would accept between $110 and $220 as possible payments for a job. This is a very rough number. It's not very narrow, but it does give us an idea of how much she could be making from a temp job. In the Netflix series, this is where things get absolutely perfect. We only need one episode. We don't have to break down the entire series. We need one episode. In what may be my favorite episode, Little Fingers, Puppycat rings up an astounding $500+ cell phone bill playing Pretty Patrick Egg Adventure on Bee's cell phone.
Oh my god, you bought $500 of in-app purchases from Pretty Patrick?
And according to Bee, they have a combined total of $30 in their savings.
Both of our savings combined is only $30.
Bee says that she's going to keep Puppycat's half of the payment from a temp job to pay off the cell phone bill, which sounds very fair. After doing the job incorrectly, the Wiggly Worms agree to pay half if they can touch Puppycat's face.
But we can't do that now, and we're not going to pay you anything. We'll pay you half.
After Puppycat lets them touch his face and learn whatever the hell he can learn from touching his face, they get paid their money in coins, and Bee says that she is able to pay off the bill.
Now I can pay off your bill.
However, we see her mess around with the phone for a bit. When Puppycat wakes up, we see a special egg-shaped phone and a large number of eggs to eat. And it's possible that the phone is a prize from the game, and it's also possible that the eggs are some kind of prize from the game. I don't know, it's not clear, that's questions for another video. But we do have the information that we need. Half of a temp job's pay is over $500, because they got paid half for doing the job incorrectly and letting them touch Puppycat's face, meaning that a job done properly could pay well over $1,000. That is absolutely perfect. This went absolutely amazingly. When I sat down to do this, I did not think that it was going to be as straightforward as this. I knew that Puppycat rang up a large bill. I did not remember that it had an exact number to it. I did not remember that Bee said that it was enough to pay off the bill. But let's just assume that is exactly what the bill on the cell phone cost, which was probably just a little bit more than $500. Because after B says it's $500, he does press the button a few more times. So let's just assume that's like $510, $520. So let's assume that half of the payment is $520. That means that if they did the job right, they could have gotten $1,040 for what was like 20-30 minutes of work. Sure, it would have been a pretty hard job lifting up that can and pouring it into a cup, but they still would have gotten $1,000 for a couple of minutes work. And the implication is kind of there that they get this much for all of their temp jobs, because she does spend a considerable amount of money doing lots of different stuff. She does have to pay rent, she does have to buy food for Puppycat, and, well, she's not exactly easy on the house. She has Molly burst through a wall. But I think that's all we really need to break down. This tells just how much Bee and Puppycat makes in their temp jobs for both the YouTube series and the Netflix series. I hope you enjoyed this quick and surprisingly easy video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.